Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. He's the Ice Cream Man, and I'm Andy Serling. You're getting ready for a little cold for good humor today.
What was your favorite bar? Toasted almond for me. I mean,
Really?
toasted almond. Yeah.
No, I like those orange-sicles. Was that what it's called?
Oh, yeah, creamsicles.
Yeah, creamsicles.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I like those.
I was never a fan of that.
You know what I really liked?
I like the chocolate fudge too, with the chocolate, the piece of fudge, and of
I
course.
like the chocolate soft. I had that when you and I went to that place when they gave me that cone that was like taller than me.
Oh, Martha's. Yeah,
Right.
he loves Martha's
The
creamery.
chocolate soft serve dipped in raspberry. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's like a
giant
jelly ring.
It's like a giant chocolate covered cherry.
Yeah, it's like a jelly ring.
Anyway, we're going to talk about racing now. Head over to Naira Bets. Got a big card today, 10 races, lots to talk about. So we're going to stop talking about candy. It is Halloween coming up, though. I'm going out as Anthony, actually. Use the promo code CUP25.
You could never be that handsome.
Yeah, you're right. I know. The weight, you're thinner, I could get a slightly easier
fat
suit, but you're right. They
my
just say you're not as good looking as Anthony. You're right. No candy for you. Coal in my bag.
That's Santa, Andy. Stop confusing the holidays.
Whatever.
Please. You get a trick.
I'm Jewish. It doesn't matter. I
You
can
get like a mini
carrot.
You get a mini carrot in a Tootsie Roll wrapper.
Free $25 play, plus a $200 deposit match. You know, I didn't see a sign up in my building for Halloween. I wonder if we're not doing that anymore. There aren't that many. I don't know if there are that many little kids in our building. There's a couple in my hall.
Okay.
They're scared of me. So. Pick six carrier, $50,012. $50,012 starts in race 5, our 10 race card. We have the middle pick 5. It'll be in race 4 today with our 10 race card. The middle pick 5.
Pick 4.
Pick 4, whatever.
Begins in race 4
11
today.
would have them. Now, if we run 11, is that going to become even more confusing for us? She's taking pictures. I didn't authorize her to take pictures. She didn't get my agreement to take pictures.
I didn't even see Gabby there. Wow, that was stealth.
She's hiding behind the.
I didn't like that. That's not
quiet
good.
here. Anyhow, what else do we have? We got a 10% trifecta bonus. I had to be corrected by everybody. I thought this was Sunday. Bonus on all winning tries. Opt in over at Naira Bets. 10% trifecta bonus. And last but not least, penultimate day of the Belmont.
Better be a second one of these.
12:30 to 5:30, and then Anthony's going to be on from 7:30 till 2 in the morning, covering. We've determined that Bulldog Hanover is actually running.
You know, I misspoke yesterday because I knew Bulldog Hanover was running. I forgot the race he was running in. So Atlanta, who was a sensational 7-year-old.
The lamest backtrack I think I've ever heard.
The best horse in harness racing was
the lamest backtrack in Talking Horses.
The first race of the night features a 7-year-old mare named Atlanta, who was looking for her first Breeders' Crown win in 5 tries. She's been sensational, over $3 million. And then, of course, Bulldog Hanover takes on Alleywag Hanover in a rematch from the Red Mile defeat.
Of course. Anyway, today's first race.
It'll be a fun night. It'll be a fun night with Acacia and I.
Today's first race, I thought this race was a bit of a skull buster. You're going to cop out with the favorite, Pimenova, who was no chance. Well, if it was 4-1 in here, would run last.
No, Photon's the favorite, Andy.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this horse will be.
No?
You're wrong.
I think Photon will be favorite.
Okay, I'll bet you a lunch. We're at 115.
When did I lose one?
You lost that one when the horse was $2,000 favorite in the stake last week, Nil Prince. $2,009.
That was after. That was it, right? Okay.
Yeah, 115.
Yep.
When'd you lose one? I'll take 10 favorite over 7.
Okay.
Oh, Irad's in the 7. I'll probably lose.
Oh, bet's a bet.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, you know,
I don't know.
There was a tip on Pimenova first time out.
Okay,
and
also
then,
great information. That was 4 starts ago.
I mean,
Do you want to tell me what she had for lunch this summer in Saratoga? Give us something that matters. Come on.
I thought she
ran,
ran.
the spotlight.
I thought she ran well enough in the open company races. Now we haven't seen her for a while, so obviously there's been some issues.
What do you think of the races she ran in? The field she met last.
Say that again.
What do you think of the field she met down there?
I think it was great, but
great.
It's been a while.
Great as Flightline.
She's back
great
against
racing.
state breds.
Great horse yet.
She's back against state breds.
She's the horse to beat.
And she's the horse to. I mean, she's obviously the horse to beat. The problem is going to be her getting around.
Well, you say she's obviously the horse to beat, but you're telling me she's not going to be favored.
I don't think
so.
She's
Then the
be
public
favored.
doesn't believe she's the horse to beat.
There's recency with Photon.
Well, show Photon's last race.
Photon just got beat last time.
Yeah, I don't like Photon at all today. I know ran okay last time. I don't disagree.
Scratch into Photon for second.
I don't like Photon. I wouldn't want any part of Photon. Variant Cream Flake, we ran a better race than she did last time, disqualified or not. I don't think Photon did any specific running in that race. Thought got a pretty good trip. Ran better than I expected that she would run, but I don't want her. I don't really love that race. I thought that was a very hungry race. 4 horses hitting the wire in there. The only horse I would take out of there is Succulent, because she ran terribly, Succulent. Now, you want to say it was a mile and she needs more distance, mile 16th? Maybe. I'm not sure. Because she ran well at a mile in Saratoga. And I think the worry was Succulent, and she got good up in Saratoga, and then she came down here and didn't run well. So I don't want to blame the mile for her race last time. Now, I think she'll run better. She's the only horse I would take out of that race.
I don't like Succulent, and then that's part of the reason I don't like Succulent. She just got really good.
No, I hear you,
right?
but I don't want
it's
anybody.
Like on an island.
But she has races
That's
that I think are
fine, yes.
dangerous.
I got you.
don't want anybody else out of that race. I think that was a stinko of a race.
Okay.
The more I looked at it, and I think horses like Pimanova and Aracima, the horse they scratched the one so Aracima could get in.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, I mean, not surprising. And I thought, the kind of thing you expect to happen. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often.
And Flavian Pratt is on Aracima.
Right. So I think she's extremely dangerous in here, Aracima, coming in. But the problem is, her races aren't very good. I mean, she has an outside post. Yeah, she was second at pace with Russia. How's that race come back? I don't know.
And the barn, for a barn that usually takes money, she's been double digits in all 4 of her starts.
I think the 10's the worst to beat. I don't want her. I think she's going to be a short price. If she ends up 4-1, I'd probably bet on her. I'm going to take Cape Cod Causeway, who I thought last time actually ran well in that race. I think she's run against some better fields. She finally started coming around, and I'll take her at what I think will be a slightly better price, because I don't trust Succulent running down here. She just ran so much better up
so
there.
Much better. 10, 15 points better than her races downstate. Yeah, I agree.
I was frustrated by this takedown because I'm friends with the people who own the horse, but I didn't think it was really a bad takedown. I thought it was a legitimate foul committed.
I think the
by this
problem,
horse.
I think the problem is...
And wasn't Cape Cod maybe going to beat this horse? Now, that wasn't necessarily the foul that did it.
Right.
Got put in that tough spot, too.
But I believe that is why she came. I mean, yes. I think Cape Cod Causeway probably would have won the race.
I don't even know if that. I think it was a legitimate foul at a key moment in the race. I've seen worse. I don't know.
It would have been interesting if Cape Cod Causeway got second, if they would have made the move, because...
They had to have.
Well,
because they could have said the horse might have won. You just said the horse might have won.
I thought the horse might have won,
anyway.
But I thought a big reason that DQ happened because they feel like the horse was definitely cost second place.
I don't love anyone in here. I think Cape Cod Causeway will be a better price.
She'll be the best price of those 3, for sure.
And I'll root for Steve Christ.
Yeah. She'll be the best price of those 3 horses, no question about it.
Race.
By the way, brought to you by Saratoga Water.
Yeah, we got the bottles now.
Yeah.
The blue bottles. I wanted a sparkling one. Maybe I'll get one during the break. That long break. Oh, they got... I'll never understand these racetracks that show the weather forecast when they're showing it. You couldn't show it in Saratoga because it changes every 10 minutes.
What do you mean?
You just have like the blobs of green coming in. Race number, that's like the, what is it, the globes of Sigmund or whatever. Anyway, race number 2. So let's talk about Cleat to start race number 2. We'll probably be favored. You didn't pick Cleat. That surprises me.
Why did that surprise you?
Because you pick 80% of the Bill Mott horses, especially ones that are favored. Well, you're probably at least 80% with Mott favorites. At least. Yeah, maybe 90? So why didn't you pick this horse on top?
So the Kentucky Downs races I thought were considerably better than the Ellis Park race, and I'm a big believer.
Was a first
what
race.
What happens at KD stays at KD. It was also he was making his sprint debut last time off of the layoff, and I wonder, and I know you harassed Bill about maybe
I don't harass Bill.
Misidentifying horses.
I don't harass Bill. Bill has run horses on the wrong surface more than any top trainer I've ever seen in my life.
And I don't think this is the wrong surface. I do wonder if that was kind of a jumping off point last time to get back off a year
obviously
layoff.
It wasn't.
I think he ran well enough where you have to give him one more try sprinting. With that said...
No. You can't say both things. You can't say, because he didn't run that well, actually. But you can't say it was a jumping off point and then say he ran well enough. Either they were using the race to prep going forward, or Bill thinks he wants to go short. Bill obviously thinks he's better going short because there have been maiden races that he could have run and he wasn't entered in any of them. I mean, you could say it, but it's silly. It's silly.
In hindsight, he probably wanted to give him one more. I don't think going into that.
I don't think that much thought came into it, to be honest. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I wonder if the horse is really better going shorter. But she did make that move. She was he was 5 wide. It was a time that you probably wanted to be saving ground there. I thought he ran fine there. I do think he's kind of the horse to beat. There are some other fuzzies. What's your story on Stealth 34?
Second time Linda, first time on the grass. The dam was over 4, but hit the board 3 times in her grass races. So this one's a Shackleford. There's enough of a little bit of turf.
Very little.
There. Yeah, I mean,
you're picking all the second-time Linda Rice horses. The problem is you're not really looking at the stats. First time on the turf, second-time starter maiden, 5 for 33, $1.43 ROI. Okay, so it's not so special. Now the ones she won with were turf horses, but still, she's 4 for 24 in maiden special weights with that move. So she's not actually that effective in that move. The stats she had been so good with first-time stars they're more specific. Now, I'm not saying the horse can't win. I've got the horse second. I think it's a little interesting, too. There's enough pedigree, even though she's produced 2 horses running the grass, doing any running. But this is not a second-time starter move. We've talked about this a few times, and those horses have not come back and won. The specific ones that she does well with, they seem to do well. She's very specific with these. Her numbers with him going first-time turf, not great. She preps more for turf the first time. It seems like the turf to dirt move seems to work because she needs to give him a race. She puts him whenever race comes up, and they turn out to be dirt horses.
That's
she had
more
one this week.
randomness than anything else.
And I think, I'm not saying the horse can't win. I've obviously got her second, but I don't think the second-time Linda move comes to play. I thought there were 3 horses that could win. I don't have a strong feeling. I'll be surprised if Warfighter is favored over the Mott horse. Maybe David's right and I'm wrong. I got Warfighter on top. Horse ran a good race. For a trainer who's very good off of layoffs. Did I put the stat up? I didn't show the Danny. Yes, we'll show this stat. We didn't show the Gargan stat in the first, did we? 7 for 29, 258 plus day layoffs, maidens on the turf, 358 ROI. These horses come back running for Graham, and since they do, I think this horse is going to run well. As far as the cutback, not thrilled with that, but maybe it'll work. Pimanova, by the way, Gargan. I don't know if we show this. You know, Gargan is 7 for 19, 291 ROI, 6 to 12-month layoffs in the turf.
Of course.
What?
Of course I knew that. No, I didn't know that.
That's a pretty good
number.
It's a pretty strong stat.
Yep, it is.
Anyway, that's the first race.
For a guy whose horses take money.
Who can win this race besides 3-5? He's got Clary and Moon. Chukka Moon, 7-5 to 2.
Imagine that. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the other reasons. Not only was it second time Linda, but the fact of the matter is I don't love the cutback with Warfighter, and I didn't really like Cleats race. I don't like Chukka Moon. I mean, we have to put 4 picks up. I don't like
Chukka Moon's going to win this race because nobody else shows up.
Correct.
I know the horse got a respectable buyer last time. I need this horse for second. This horse did not do any running at all.
Not a stitch in either of the.
Maybe nobody shows
2.
up. I'll be surprised if that horse is short, but maybe.
Cole second choice with Mott.
Race number 3. Doing race 3. Oh, let me guess. Came down to Seth or Eddie Barker.
It did.
You went to Seth over Eddie Barker.
It did.
And you've left Win It out of the top 4.
I have.
That should work out well for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Talk about your horses.
Oh.
That's what we do in the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought you were going to lead off with Win It maybe for the first time.
No, we'll talk about Win It after the horse you left out of the top 4. That's the horse to beat. We'll talk.
Yeah,
about
we'll do some. We could do some lunch bets in here if you like. This might not be the best selection on the card because this horse has burned an awful lot of money and he just has not come back to the debut, which could be just on an island. But he had no chance in the Lafayette.
Well, wait a second.
He didn't want to go.
You say he had no chance in the Lafayette.
Well,
Here's what actually happened to Lafayette. He got completely left on a track that was kind to speed in a race that was dominated in the front end. So it's not that he had no chance. He had a legitimate excuse. Next.
Yeah, no, I understand.
No,
well,
you don't understand.
You just stopped me.
No, I didn't stop you. You were going to go.
You did.
Please stop it. Please stop it. Anyway,
you did.
Talk about it. Go ahead.
He probably didn't want. He doesn't want to go. I don't think he wants to go 2 turns.
Well, I don't think he wants to go mile 16th.
Yeah. Well, what are the 2 turn races you're going to go?
Velmont's got mile 16 1-turn races.
Yeah.
That's why I worry a little about the mile. I worry if he's going a little too far today.
Yeah, I don't worry. I don't necessarily worry. Well, he also ran against the horse that wound up finishing 3rd in the
No, I don't think he ran that badly in that race. So he had a very good trip.
Osborne's a decent knockaround.
Okay, keep going.
Horse. Listen, the race last time.
Okay, wait. We skipped over his race 2 back, and so at least we know you weren't going to say it. 2 times ago, he got about as bad a ride by David Cohen as you could possibly give.
Well, I said he ran.
No, that's okay.
Osborne.
I'll say what happened his race 2 back. He got a horrifically bad ride, and he got in trouble and shuffled out at 2 different points. And there's an argument he could have won that race. Next.
Yeah, and then last time, It rained
Say what you
right
need to,
before
and then I'll
that
come.
race.
Ooh, you got that. Okay.
It rained right before the race, and the track kind of got a little goofy.
And it wasn't a bad field either.
No, it was not a bad. And AO came back to win.
He was also entered in a $40,000 claiming race.
He was. And again, you see Osborne in the PPs. You're in a mood today.
I feel we should actually have handicap discussions
Be
in
a
the
little
show. I'm not
careful
going to
with that. I'd
apologize.
be a
for
little
that.
careful with the
I'm
mood
not going
today.
to apologize for
And
that.
then I think, I don't think he wants the 2 turns, but I think settling and making one run in the 1 turn
He's also
mile.
the 5-2 favorite in this
Yeah,
race.
but I don't. You know what?
And he's
though?
getting a little tiresome with excuses.
This board's going to be wide open.
He's
You
going to
really
be
don't lean
favored.
on
It's Chad
anybody
Brown.
in here.
and
He'll
he's
be
gonna
favored. He'll be favored, but this will be a wide open.
He's getting a little tiresome for a horse who's going to be
Yeah,
favored.
I said that. He's burned a
Can win.
lot of money. And
What
people
about
are waiting-
Shipsational?
Shipsational looked like he absolutely needed the race. I think it's a great sign that he's coming back in 3 weeks.
Okay, so that's it for him.
For a horse that had a soft tissue injury to come back in 3 weeks.
I don't think that's great, to be honest with you. I worry about that. He's come back soon. The reason I think that he's live in this race is that he was 4 wide against a gold rail last time out. That's why I think his last race is better. But listen, there's a horse like 3 Jokers that if he wakes up and remembers he was a racehorse can win. As far as
I
winning,
almost picked 3 Jokers as a goof, but the problem is his last couple of races.
why don't you have win it? We'll get the replay in a second. Why don't you have win in the top 4?
I don't like him.
Why not?
I don't really love his. I mean, it's his maiden race kind of lives on an island, doesn't it?
No. Okay. The concern for Winnett is that he is a horse that has some issues at the start in his races, and drawing the rail might not do him any favors. But this horse breaks today, and he's just a lot better than these horses, and he's actually run well. He ran well in his last race. We'll take a look at the first half mile of his last race. You said your piece. Now I'm going to say mine about him. He doesn't break. That's what, the thing is, he's just a little bit sluggish. Now, Kendrick, and I talked to Kendrick about this horse, because it was pretty obvious, but I just wanted to see if Kendrick had something that was inobvious, and he agreed with what I said. Kendrick's got him in a good spot here. He didn't break that well. Now he's getting bad on the turns here. Now, the fact that he's running in a 1-turn race could help him out in this situation, because he's not going to get goofy in the turn. Kendrick's trying to rate him here, and this horse just runs off on him on the backstretch. And that concerns me a little bit. Having said that, maybe Triple Elvis goes, and maybe he's the speed, and his best race is on the front end, and maybe he gets most comfortable if he's forward. I do worry about drawing the rail and the break. That is a concern for me. But if he breaks, this was also a race that completely fell apart on a track that was kind of outside closers. I thought this horse ran extremely well last time. And if he breaks and gets a fair trip, and there are ifs, don't get me wrong, but he does. He's going.
I mean, if Triple Elvis wants to lead, Triple Elvis will be in front of him.
I didn't say he wouldn't be. I just said you.
But the problem is, if you're right about him kind of running off with him a little bit last time, that the straightaway is going to hurt him.
I don't agree, because you're going to say that, but you just said he's run one good race, lives on an island, at a 1-turn mile.
But he got loose.
1-turn mile.
And he's not supposed to get loose in here.
Okay, you don't like him. I do. I
have reasons for not liking him because I agree with you.
We heard your reasons. We heard your reasons.
I agree with you.
You didn't say anything about the break. I asked you. You didn't say anything.
I agree with him about running off a little bit last time.
You didn't say any of it.
Daylight is not going to help him.
Okay, I like him.
5 furlong straightaway is not going to help a horse
I like
him.
Winnett. You don't. We got it.
Yeah.
I got it. That's okay. I like Winnett. I got it. He's got some issues. If he's 9-2, I think he's value not with the issues. I'll take my chances. I thought the Awad, is it Awad or Awad?
I'm going with Awad.
Awad? That's what I always thought. A lot of people say Awad, though, right? No?
I mean, people do, but I'm going with Awad.
Right. Do we know what it refers to?
I don't. I do not.
He was what's the name of the farm that owned him? Those brown silks,
Rye Hill?
black silk, Rye Hill, right.
He was a Rye Hill, right?
Op Smile. Is Op Smile their horse? I got DQ'd at 9-1 at Keeneland, I bet.
I remember that day.
Yeah, I remember that the governor at the time, Burton Jones, on the second horse, and the story was he ran up the Stewart's boot ranting. I bet 200 at Op Smile. Fact.
Who wrote Op Smile that day? Was it Shane Sellers?
Ooh.
I think it was Shane
You know
Sellers.
Shane? I was going to say Eddie, but I don't think Eddie rode at Keeneland that much, right?
I think Phil got DQ'd that day too, because Phil's favorite rider.
I was at Keeneland. I was there.
Phil's favorite jockey of all time is Shane. I mean,
We were
Phil
talking about
loved
Shane the other
Sellers.
day. When's the last time you saw Shane?
Saratoga, maybe 6 years ago.
That recently? Mm-hmm. God, I haven't seen him in forever. Race number, I thought this was I have zero confidence in my picks in this race. But I'm going to start with the horse Freedom Trail. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with Freedom Trail. I made a decision in here. I'm going to go against the race from Jersey. You took a horse from there, which is fine. I may be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a strong. I feel like this horse, who's going to take money, didn't he just run when the race was falling apart at the end? I mean, he ran okay, but I just felt like this race just totally collapsed in the late stages.
Yeah, I'm more impressed than you are with horses who are younger horses, less seasoned horses, passing horses. And he was wide in the stretch, and he passed.
But the whole field was passing horses.
Yeah, I know, but
the third place finisher came back and did not run well in a subsequent
start. He's widest
start.
of all, and he's a big price. And I thought he ran well on his first start.
He ran fine. He didn't run badly. He ran fine. No, I'm not. I got him second, Anthony. I'm not wildly against him.
I think with routine improvement, he's the horse to beat in here.
Well,
really?
Yeah, but the problem is a lot of these horses take a step back after their maiden win a month later. That's the problem. There's this assumption that there's routine. I don't think there's routine improvement. I think a lot of these horses take a step backwards, even for good trainers. I don't think it's a lot of the horses do not run back. They don't improve off these maiden wins, and that worries me.
The problem with him is he's probably going to be favored because of Arad. Because you could make a case for Let's Go Big Blue being the favorite. You could probably make a little bit of a case, even though the connections aren't.
Eric Cancel really going to be favored over Irad Ortiz? I don't mean that. I'm not trying to be critical of Eric.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's
one guy takes money, and one guy, it's not really it's not of consequence on the tote board. I mean, but this horse, big win, passed a lot of horses, came from almost last.
Terrible race. I know he beat the bias that day, and he showed the improvement. We'll show the last race. Now people see that lacked room. He lacked room like a guy who's waiting getting a bathroom for 5 seconds. I mean, it had a great trip and great ride. And I mean, didn't Con Man have the trouble trip in this race? Isn't he the one? He's the number 9. I thought he was the one that kind of got shuffled a little bit in this race. I thought Con Man might be the one you wanted a better price. He kind of loses his position.
I wonder if Eric tried to keep this horse down inside, because when he broke his maiden, I mean, he did not behave well in the stretch of his debut win.
But he was wide out in the clear.
Yeah,
he's better out in the clear.
And again, I think maybe he was left to,
There he is, his lacking room. It's not so much lacking room. He's a horse that saved ground at an angle out. You know what I mean?
And he was a little bit, I shouldn't even say a little bit, he was a lot more professional in here. And I wonder if that was the plan, to keep him covered up, to stop him from getting, a little lackadaisical. Eric
wanted to save ground. I don't think Eric goes the rail when he can. I mean, like most riders, it's not.
I like this horse a lot today. I know this horse is going to be the favorite, but
if Bill Parcells did run, would you like him a little or a lot?
I like this horse. That has nothing to do with anything.
Nothing to do with Bill.
No. Okay. I mean, I don't think this is a very good field. I think his second race, he showed a lot of professionalism that he did not show in his debut, and he still won. I know it was against State Birds. I like this horse a lot today because, like you, I don't trust the field Freedom Trail ran against.
Yeah,
and I don't really care for the rest of them.
Listen, I'm not against him. I don't. It's interesting the point you bring up. I think, I don't know. I think he's got too much going for him not to be favored. I mean, I hear you with Irad in the 4. I hear you, but a horse that broke his maiden and then ran third in the stake. I mean, the horses that ran 1-2 in there are both horses that have a chance in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Now, I understand the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf races are rarely races that really are very relevant, but I mean, talk about irrelevant races in a championship card. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but they're irrelevant. Do any of the horses win those races? I guess Lady Eli won one, right? Well, New Money Honey, but she was kind of disappointing, right? She won the Belmont Oaks, and that was it, kind of, right?
I don't think she won anything of subsequence.
I'm not sure. She ever win besides that race?
Yeah, but I don't think she won anything.
Oh,
big.
She won the Lake Placid. No, Rushing.
Was that Rushing Fall?
All I know is that I saw Bob Edwards. I found his place and had pizza with him after he won the Lake Placid, but it might have been Rushing Fall because I'm thinking about where I was living. And when
I don't remember.
New Money Honey was a lot longer ago than you think, right? It was like 16 or something, right?
Rushing Fall was 16.
Later. Rushing Fall was, no.
17?
17 Breeders' Cup.
18, yeah.
18 Lake Placid, yeah. I hear you. I'm not taking a mistake. I don't love the horse I picked in here. Dandy Handyman. We'll show his race. I don't love this horse. To be honest, I know they love Take Me to Jimmy. Take Me to Jimmy should win. I think if Irad had a race to take back in the last ride to take back in the last 2 months, it might be the ride he gave Take Me to Jimmy. He rode this horse like he was trying to get it over with and he was worried he was going to lose. This is not the way Irad rode. He made it premature. It was an odd ride. And listen, he was best. The horse that beat him, this horse, Danny Heyman, this horse got some trip to beat him. And then my man Jimmy, or Take Me to Jimmy came back, speaking of Bob, and he was very disappointing here at a super short price. I guess there was a Sunday. It was a week ago Sunday. It was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, right? Tomorrow, I mean.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. But he beat him first time. He won going long. I like Harry Bryan. Horse will be a decent price. I don't like anybody. I don't know. Tell you the horse I don't like, and you don't like him either, is Sendero. Is he going to take money for Todd?
He's going to take money for Todd because he's loose. I mean, he's gone on the front end. If he wants to lead, come out at the 2 5.5.
Don't you think Javier's going to go, though, with El Dachimi?
That horse is fast enough. If Pratt wants to lead, and Fabian Pratt's made a lot of money around here going to the lead and just...
But this horse, I mean, this was an atrocious... He was 1 to 5. This was an atrocious field. And I got a terrible trainer staff for Todd. I got a horrendous stat. Off a win, stretching out on the turf. This is almost unbelievable, this stat for Todd. It's probably the worst Todd Pletcher stat ever, right?
That's pretty amazing.
He's like 20 to 30% with everything, with ROIs from $1.75 to $2.20 with everything. Right?
That's crazy.
Isn't that a crazy bad stat for him? I know
I'll
it's not
I got to give my man Mitch Friedman a little love. I think Noble Huntsman can get a piece of this, but I think there's
now your man, Mitch Friedman.
Yeah,
boy, I tell you, things have changed, Mitch.
I think
things have changed.
Manny needs to be a little aggressive.
He's not impossible here.
Manny needs to be a little aggressive with this horse. This horse's best race, I think, was the maiden win.
Will he be sitting fourth?
Well, I'd like for him to be pocketed.
The problem with his maiden win, I think his.
Well,
I disagree. His best race is his last race.
Last race, and he was a little more forward than he normally is too that day. I would just be sitting. I would be laying third. Get this horse
closer than tax
into the
implications
game.
Was.
I'm sorry.
Closer than tax implications was. A little overconfident. Wasn't Manny's fault. She lugged it in the stretch. To be fair.
Yeah, she was bad. She's a bad actor too, man.
But she was probably a little bit.
I would get this horse closer. We better start moving, by the way.
Where do you want to move to?
We're only in the 4th race.
We can do whatever we want. We could roll the show into the first race. What?
Johnny, I wasn't up late last night because the Yankees didn't play in the World Series, so.
They didn't? I thought they won.
No.
Tough beat for the Astros. I turned it off at
that was some catch.
I turned it off at 4-0. Joe Clancy tweeted, "We now have a ball game." I turned it back on. It was 5-5.
I left here and went home and threw it on.
You said we got to go, and now we're talking about this. Let's go to work here.
Catch.
You're right. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about Baby Yoda. I don't trust Baby Yoda at all. Now, to be fair, I picked against him last time. We'll show his last race. He's coming back in 22 days. He wasn't right in the inside, but inside speed was carrying this day. I think the track helped him. I will say one thing. He runs his last race. He's going to win here. I don't believe he's going to, and at a short price, I'm going to try to beat him.
I was a little surprised to see him in the entries, to be honest with you. I thought maybe Bill would kid glove him a little bit and just run him right into the cigar off this race. But he's making a stop here, another mile race to get under his belt. I would imagine his horse is cigar bound.
He might have won. He won like the kind of, well, no, I was going to say he won the race that Cigar won, but actually the race Cigar won was at Aqueduct, and we didn't start until November that year. Because he won that mile allowance race before it and got like a 106 buy or something. He can win. He ran big. I'm going to bet Morello. I didn't show Morello's last. I probably should have. We'll show him winning the Gotham. I'll tell you one thing. His 3rd career start in the Gotham, he runs that race. Baby Yoda better have his running shoes on.
That was some bunch of horses he beat, Andy.
Anthony, that was some race that he ran.
It was.
That was some race he ran. And he's a very, very good horse.
He's got a break.
Well, he had one bad break last time. He broke from the rail last time. He did. He broke about a length or so behind the field. I'll bet he breaks today. Anyway, forgetting about that, I'm not going to make my bet because of race and things like that. He ran last time. He won easy. It wasn't a big fig, but he easily beat Greeley and Ben, who's pretty good. I think he can win this race, and he'll be a fair enough price. Are you worried about Empty Tomb wiring the field? You've got a second.
Yeah. I mean, if Baby Yoda...
Well, he's going to be in front of Baby Yoda, I would think. How's Irad not sending him? Not being Baby Yoda from behind him, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I mean. Baby Yoda's going to have aim. If Baby Yoda, look, I'll say this. Baby Yoda didn't beat the toughest bunch of horses, and now he's running into a salty horse like Empty Tomb who's going to be in front of him. Yeah, I mean,
what about Title Ready?
Title Ready needs it to collapse.
Yeah, he needs a total collapse.
He needs Baby Yoda to really put pressure on Empty Tomb. But listen,
it's not impossible. The race gets a little hot.
But he needs a
No,
collapse.
I agree. That's the first 5. Anthony's right. We're running out of time. Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Born in the foothills of the Adirondacks over 150 years ago, the Saratoga brand has become synonymous with quality. carefully crafted spring water. Each stunning blue glass bottle is created with the same attention to detail and care that has been the Saratoga hallmark for generations. So open a bottle, take a sip, and savor the Saratoga experience. Saratoga, an American classic that's always in good taste. Make every day exquisite.
We'll try to move things along. Race number 6. I was surprised that we have the same horse in race number 6, but we'll start the conversation with Stop War running second last time. Mischievous Dream. Let me ask you a question. Did you cry?
I almost got sucked in.
Did you cry when you didn't put Christophe Clement in the first 2? I mean, did you have to send him an apology note or something?
And I got to tell you something. This horse's last race,
I know.
I like this horse too. I like this horse sprinting. This horse's last race was bad.
What do you think about this race? I don't like this race, period.
Say that again.
I don't like this race, period. The only horse I want on this race is Strong Odor, because there was a strong odor about that horse.
That's what I just said.
9
I said
months
this
ago.
horse is Mysterious Dream's last race. This race was bad. It was just not a good race. The whole thing was
She
good.
was,
This
she
horse's
was on
effort-
the rail. Stop War got on a rail that was pretty good. I think the rail was pretty strong that day. I thought Stop War had the run of the race last time. Maybe she'll have it again, but she's going to beat me.
I don't like her. I don't like Stop War
Why do
either.
you like Go-Go Shoes?
Go-Go Shoes. I thought Go-Go Shoes' best race was here. That A and then win back
She got
against
loose.
Love and Thunder. She got loose. Yeah, but she's also shown she could run. She runs
You
well
like
from
her because
off
she
the
ran
pace.
well at Aqueduct? What about her last Aqueduct race? It was awful. Well, her last Aqueduct race was
the
awful.
race behind Miss J. McKay.
It was awful. She didn't do anything at all.
Okay, and then she was gone for 7 months.
Right, because turf season ended.
Derek Ryan has horses
She was
stables
gone when
at
the turf
Tampa
season
Bay
ended.
Down.
You really
Andy,
think that? You don't think that was
Andy, the guy stabled at Tampa Bay Downs.
the horse had run. The horse had run the whole year. They gave her a break till turf season started again. I mean, she came right back when turf season started. We don't have
guy
time for this.
stables
We'll
at Tampa.
agree to disagree, and we'll move on, and we'll run out of time. If I'm gonna argue everything for 10 minutes, it's
And you
my
gotta,
fault.
and you
But
gotta
it's
love the
yours.
fact that they claimed this horse, right? The connections claimed this horse.
I thought she was interesting second off the layup. I think she's more of a sprinter. I didn't think she wanted to go long. I liked her cutting back to what she does best, and I didn't really want anybody in here, though I do think Mrs. Green can win. Problem is, Linda has terrible. Take a look at Mrs. Green's last race. Linda has terrible numbers off of wins in turf sprints. She's 6 for 62, $1.28 ROI. She got a great ride this race, saved ground, angled out, got it done. But I'll tell you something. I don't think the field she beat here is worse than the one she's facing today. Tell you what, I know it's numbers 1, numbers 2. Who in here is so tough?
No, that was a good race. That was a good.
Yeah.
There was nice horses last time. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, she's back in 2 weeks. So that's.
I know. It's a rush back.
Yeah.
Turf seasons, you got to run when you got spots. But she is going well. And I won't be surprised when she runs well, but I'm with you. I want the 5 and 6 in here. I could have gone the other way. I've got them 6-5. Either way works for me. We'll see what happens in race number 6. Race number 7. So you didn't pick a Klarovich horse, so customer list is a cinch. They got to be like 90% the 3 a year you don't pick. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? The 10 a year you don't pick, you think they win 8 or 9 times? Last time I remember you not picking,
Just let me know
picking
when-
one
just
was
let me know-
technical
just let me
analysis
know when
when
you're
she
done.
won the Lake George.
Just let me know when you're
When
done.
she won the Lake George, I think that was the last time you didn't pick a Klarovich horse. I'm going to show the risk averse, the 3/8 to finish. I don't know what to. She's the horse to beat in this race. She's probably the best horse in this race. She's also a real disappointment. I mean, she had a bit of a trip two back. She had trouble in there and run badly. You could say she's the one that came calling first in a race that completely fell apart at the end. And to be honest, her entry mate in here, Faith in Humanity, she came back and showed in the Pebbles that she's a pretty good horse. She's not meeting much today. She'll probably win, but I don't need her at 6-5.
Neither do I.
Just,
She's been a complete disappointment so far, and I don't
It's
want
not
her at
that
a short.
good.
I don't want her at a short price.
But you've picked Parnack, and we'll go right to the replay of Parnack in the guise of trying to move the show along. We can go to Parnack. What do you like about her? This is two back.
This is a complete Christophe Clement. I have faith in Christophe.
We know
I don't
you
know
pick
what-
80%
I
of his
don't-
horses. We know you have
I don't
faith in
know
him.
what happened last time. This horse did not run 2 steps last time. 2 steps. But I gotta think she's better than her last race.
Well,
look,
I
there's
think
a
they're-
lot of scratches in here now, so she's gonna wind up being the second choice. She was a lot more attractive when Invincible Gal was in the race.
No, she wasn't. Minstrel Gal would have beaten her. Minstrel Gal had a bad trip in this race. She had a perfect trip in this race. I don't like her, but I will
She's
say
the second choice now.
I will say that she didn't benefit from the best of rides last time out. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't understand. She wasn't beating the horses in that race. They're better horses than these, but I don't know what Joel was doing in there. And you know I love Joel.
And that was the final point. That was a much better field than this field.
I don't know what he was thinking in that race. I like Icy Stare Down, the 6. This horse has enough turf pedigree, a very good second dam. The second dam is Wonder Woman, who was a good horse. Brad Cox, how about this one? Sprinter out in the turf. 23%, 225 ROI. His stretch outs have won, and I thought that was particularly interesting. Speaking of rides, and Joel Rosario, I don't know what the plan was in this race. Besides being wide in there, I don't know what they were thinking, but I think they're thinking this was going to run better second off a layoff, stretching out.
She didn't take a dime last time either.
Couldn't care less. Well, it was a very, very, very tough field she was in last time, coming off a layoff. She was also first time in the grass. I believe she'll run a lot better today, and Manny is supposed to be aggressive. There's no real speed in here.
She's supposed to be in front.
Go to the lead.
Oh, she's supposed to be in front.
She may not win, but go to the lead. Race number 8, the Pumpkin Pie. I like W.W. Fitzy.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, and I scratched into a horse that I think is a hanger. And we'll take a look at, well, first we'll start with Glass Ceiling, because she is the most accomplished horse. The question with her is, what happened to her, and do you trust her coming off the layoff to get back to her good form? If she does, she's going to win.
I was out at the barns earlier this week talking to Charlie Baker. He was very hopeful that this race would fill. They got 7 with the scratch down to 6.
So why didn't you pick her if you so?
Well, you know, and I know that 7/8 has really become her wheelhouse, right? 3 in a row earlier this year.
Yeah, distance is good for her. What next?
I don't, that last race, I didn't get into it, but that last race, man, she just...
Well, it probably wasn't Charlie's smartest move, and you know I like Charlie a lot. But shipping down to South Florida 3 weeks after running as badly as she did in the Bed of Roses, probably a move he looks back on and thinks, what was I thinking? What do you think?
And you see off slow.
Seriously, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you see off slow.
Not a very smart move.
You see off slow and awkward start.
Man.
You see off slow and awkward start, and you say to yourself, all right, maybe she's going a little sour and she needs some time. He gave it a time. It was a smart move to give it a time. Plus now she gets, she gets into the hard time of year. She made an awful lot of money this time of year last year into the early part of the next year.
Is she the horse to beat her as Boston Post? We'll see Boston Post Road's last race. The problem with Boston Post Road...
On figs, it's Boston Post Road.
The problem with Boston Post Road is that she's a hanger. You want to blame Flavien Prat. She's a hanger. She's now hung 2 times in a row. Now, on the other hand,
he's off the hook a little bit for the 2 starts back.
She also lost to legitimate horses.
Right.
Played hard, who beat her, a good horse that came back and won a stake and ran very well to do it.
Yep.
And Palm Cottage is no bum either.
Okay.
I like Palm Cottage. And the other thing is she had the jump on her, and she was going to be a speed. Now,
she has this full head of steam, and she just does not want to pass at the end.
That's a big concern with her. It's going to be a short price because of the layup. But the thing is, you see who the speed is. It's Oksana. We'll take a look at her and Dr. B.
I should have picked her
in the Roman. I just don't think. Well, I just don't think she's good enough. I just don't think Oksana is good enough. I really don't.
She's got to get the 7 too. Yeah.
And if Glass Ceiling is in good form, she's not going to let her that far out. Who trained Roman Rachel? You know, I had a feeling, even though it's an incredibly easy answer, that you might get stumped by this. I thought about this when I was looking at the race. I said, I got Anthony, who trained Roman Rachel. It's amazing that you get stumped because you're going to be so annoyed when you're the answer. You get who trained some horse that nobody's ever heard of that ran 40 years ago, and you don't know that Sugar McGay trained Roman Rachel. I mean,
it was Millhouse, right? I think it was Millhouse. Because I'm seeing it now. As soon as you just said Sugar.
Pinkish Silks?
You think it was Pinkish Silks?
I'm not sure.
That would be Andrew Rosen?
No, it was before. No, because Frankel had Andrew Rosen's horses. I don't think Andrew had horses. I don't know if he had horses back then.
Pink Silk. I don't know.
You know, I remember Roman Rachel. She beat one of the Mirages. She's the one in that story when Julie rode either Classy or Missy Mirage in like the Honorable Miss or one of those races, and she had the lead, and she was like 2 or 3 off the rail, and Roman Rachel came like down the 8th pass. She was a deep closer. She ran her down. So I'm standing by the replay center at Saratoga, and Julie is walking back, in fact, with the chief. And here's Julie, who's that big, which I'm that big too, I'm not. And here's the chief, who's that big. And the chief's behind her, and he's waving her, he's doing his chief thing, screaming at her. And she sees me looking, and I'm kind of laughing, and she just like rolls her eyes. And I said to her later, when she goes, Chief wanted me to, he said, I should have come at the 8th path to get in the way of that horse. That's why I think of Roman Rachel. I knew I would stump you with that. I don't know why I did, but I got you. And you never get
I think it was Millhouse.
Millhouse?
Not sure.
Look it up. I'll look it up. For some reason, I'm thinking Pink Silks, but I'm probably wrong. Race number 9. The Bold Ruler came up a great race. The good news is not enough time left for me to really harass him about his pick in the 10th race. Should we start with Running Son of a Gun? Okay, first of all, I got to tell you something. You left running son of a gun out of the top 4. I want to show the race at Parks because you could argue that he steadied on the turn, but taken up. But he wasn't really taken up. What Luis Saez was doing was realizing, I don't want to get caught out in the 8 path in the turn, and he was getting the horse to move towards the inside. So while there's a brief sort of take-up, you're going to see him, he's the back of that pack right now. He's on the outside. You're going to see Luis Saez kind of gather him in to angle him towards the inside, right there, to get him to save ground. He didn't really lose any position, and Luis got him to re-guide. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win here, but he shows up and runs a good race every time, and he has faced some pretty good horses, Ant.
Listen, the Scandals are some of my oldest and dearest friends.
And you left him out of the top 4.
I hope the horse runs dynamite for them. I don't prefer him.
You don't even like Christophe Clement. You pick all his horses. These
love
guys are your
Christophe
friends.
Clement.
I knew I'd get him to admit it. You see how I did that? I tricked him there. First, I got you on the Shug thing. You know how proud of myself I am that I got you on that one? Because I've been thinking about it since I handicapped the race, I swear to God. I hope Phil's laughing. Jackson Traveler.
He lives up to his name, boy. 7 racetracks in his last 12 starts.
I'm going to show his Maryland Sprint.
I think this is his 10th different rider. His 13th start.
He was with the racetrack. I don't think he's run well in his 2 races since coming back.
I don't like this horse.
I think his form has declined precipitously. I don't want Jackson Traveler.
Now, where's he going to be in here? I mean, he's not fat. I mean, Maras is going to be in front of him. Maras was flying out of there first.
Well, you can talk about Maras when we're done. We'll talk about him now. Go ahead.
I don't even know. I don't know where he's going to be in here. That's the problem.
So why do you like Maras?
I think Maras. I think that was a good race first time out. First time off of a long way off.
I'm going to shed a tear while your friendship.
He runs into elite power, and now he gets Pratt. He gets the rail. He's gone on the front end. He's got the race under his belt. I love this horse today. I'm betting.
You're not worried about him breaking?
I am a little bit, but Pratt has a knack for getting these horses out of the gate, and if he breaks, I think this thing is history.
Yeah, I don't like him, but I can understand that argument. But I don't particularly like him.
I
But
like this horse a
see
lot
it.
today.
I can see. I know you like a lot of horses.
I do.
Okay, good. We'll take a look at drafted beating Greeley and Ben in the Mr. Prospector. And the one thing I was going to drafted is I was between picking him and the 8 in this race, Run Son of a Gun. I even think horses like Repo Rocks have a chance in here. I think a lot of horses have a chance. This is the first time the draft has been in a sprint that he has a chance in that's had any pace.
He's got this pace here.
This is the first time.
Maras is fast, so he's going to have pace.
This poor horse, I've never seen a closure in a sprint race that gets more races with no pace than this guy.
He's going to get pace today.
He's supposed to get pace. I'm a little concerned he's not good enough, to be fair. I'm not sure he's good enough. And it feels like there's enough horse to run better. Let me ask you a question. You didn't think Factor It In could win? This horse has gotten very good.
4 picks up there. I mean, I could have put 7, 8 horses up there here.
Well, you wasted one of them on Eastern Bet.
Jalen Journey.
You could have gotten rid of him.
Jalen Journey and Steinbeck would be very tough to me.
Eastern Bay, too. He's a little tough.
I don't know.
He's 4-1.
David has him 4-1, Andy.
What do you like about him?
What I like about him, I think that if...
I want to bet you a lunch the 3 beats the 7. I made the 1 4-1. Okay, I'll bet you.
Sure.
3 over 7. Okay. That's what I want to bet you.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
I think the 3's in great form. I don't think the 7 is a prayer. I think the 3's in great form. I'm annoyed. When I started doing the work, I realized this horse was probably going to win that Chesapeake against Necker Island. 4-1 last time against that field? Ooh, big price. Next race, race 10. I did it for Anthony. I didn't realize he'd fall in the trap, though I should have. He's got Relate on top. Oh, Louis owns him.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice that. I didn't.
Nah, never.
I didn't.
So then you've actually got a reason for making this horse? Because the Louis reason was the one I'd have stuck with when I was you. We'll show the replay in the last race of the 6, last race. One of the most embarrassing losses of Saratoga meet. He is helped by the 12 scratching. I will give him that. Coffray coming out helps him. So, gifted the front end in a slow-paced race on the goldest of gold rails, and he still lost, and you like him here against Tougher.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone in here.
So what?
I don't know.
So what? What does that mean? It's a mile and 16. What does having the lead have to do with it? That's going to win? This last race was awful. You really think this horse wants a mile and 16th?
I think that he'll get in front of these horses.
He will be in front. If he gets out of the gate, he'll be in front. That's correct.
If St. Joe Louis doesn't run him down, he'll win.
Oh, you picked St. Joe Louis second.
Yeah, of course. I
will give you credit for one thing. He does like to finish second.
I actually want to make money in this race.
You won't be. I got an idea if you're making money. Book anyone that's betting that exacta.
Okay.
St. Joe Louis, I will agree. He can run second. We'll show him doing what he likes to do. When he lost to Royal Spirit 2 back. I mean, you realize he may be a Guinness Book of World Record holders. Do you realize that he has been favored in all of his 10 starts, and he has one win?
That's amazing.
For Chad Brown.
That is amazing.
Do you realize that this horse lost 4 straight races for Chad Brown at odds on?
That's why I'm picking him
and
second.
None of them were at Naira.
I'm going to make a big bet on Maras, and I'm taking him parlay it to place on St. Joe Louis today. That's why I came today.
You better save $5 for socks. You
have
don't owe any
plenty of
rent to
socks.
Phyllis, do you? Phyllis, make sure he's all paid up.
I have plenty of socks.
There's going to be a lot of capital.
Plenty of
7:30 to
socks.
11 tonight. 7:30 to 11.
Screwed up the last race last night. The horse
I
paid
know. I can't believe he did that. Well, you couldn't-
$106.
That was a bad move. Bad move.
Wanted to bet six.
I didn't want to tell you when you told me the story originally. I bet 200 to win the horse.
Wanted to bet 3 over 569. It came
Anyway.
936.
What Anthony's alluding to is
Horse
he'll
paid
be handling that
$106.
Breeders' Crown Act in he and Acacia.
Can't wait.
Are you wearing your driver's outfit?
No,
It's Halloween coming up, Anth.
no,
Come on.
not wearing my.
Come on, you got
driver's
time to go home
outfit.
and
I'm
get
not
it.
wearing my driver's outfit.
If you wear it, I'll watch.
Oh, I'll be going home today at some point. I'm
Yeah.
not staying. I'm not staying.
I hope you're going
I'm not
home.
staying here for 14 and a half hours.
Some point.
I was here for 14 and a half hours yesterday. I won't be doing it again.
Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. No better time than the present to become.
Maybe
a Naira
I'll wear
Bets.
the driver's outfit. Maybe.
Wear the hat.
Maybe.
If you wear it, you gotta text.
Helmet,
If you wear something, you
Andy.
gotta text me and tell me so.
I
I'll
don't
make sure to
have
put
the
the show
helmet, Andy.
on. You don't have the helmet?
He used to borrow Claude Huckabone's helmet. He was the
Wow.
only guy.
Claude
who-
Huckabone.
The third. He was the only guy who had a head as
Claude
big as
Huckabone.
mine.
No, there was a guy who started harness, Kerry Carcos.
Well, I don't know that.
Kerry Carcos used to ride started. I think he weighed close to 300. I could be wrong, but I think was it 200? 200, I think.
Claude Huckabone the
200.
third.
They were more. No.
My silks were yellow and brown. And the
$25
helmet was red, white, and
free
blue.
play along with your match. Use the promo code CUP25. We have a carryover the pick 6, begins in race number 5, $50,000, and 12, $50,000 and 12. We have an extra pick 4, the middle pick 4. We have 3. This one is in race 4 today. We have a 10% winner's bonus on trifectas, Anthony. Opt in for that. I will be opting in as soon as I leave here. And we have America's Day at the races. The early version, just a warm-up. Just a warm-up,
So
the
we
early
got-
version.
we got
for
two
the
quick
big
texts.
12:30 to 5:30,
Oh, we got
and then
these, yes.
7:30 to 11.
Sal Spadali, owner Sal Spadali. Farish owned Roman Rachel.
So we were both wrong.
Both wrong. And Richie Migliore.
So let me just say, he got it right. It's the usual. And I were both wrong. Two guys who are never wrong, who are never right.
The MiG chimed in. Awad was named for Mubarak Awad, a Palestinian peace activist.
Very good.
So there you go.
All right. Speaking of Mubarak, I saw Mohammed Mubarak at Saratoga. It's the first
He's
time
down in
I've
Florida.
seen him. I don't think I've seen him in years.
Saw him as well.
Nice guy. Yeah, it's the first
His
time I've
name
seen him in
came
a
up
long
yesterday,
time.
actually.
Oh, and wait. Roman Rachel was Tri Honors stable. And that's from Steve. So the question is, was it Pink Silks? It was the 94 Ballerina. That
Maybe
was
she
probably
bought.
one.
Maybe they bought her
She's a good horse.
after.
Maybe he bought her as a
broodmare or
as a
something.
broodmare.
Yeah.
I don't think she raced for Farish. Though, I mean, it would make
Maybe at
sense
the end of
because
her
she'll
career she
train for
did.
him.
Yeah.
We're done. You can see we got nothing but things to talk about. Enjoy the card. Johnny I up next with a reprise scratch and changes. A lot of fun card today. Good luck. We'll see you later.
Born in the foothills of the Adirondacks over 150 years ago, the Saratoga brand has become synonymous with quality. Carefully crafted spring water. Each stunning blue glass bottle is created with the same attention to detail and care that has been the Saratoga hallmark for generations. So open a bottle, take a sip, and savor the Saratoga experience. Saratoga, an American classic that's always in good taste. Make every day exquisite.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Belmont at the Big A. Bright sunshine here at Aqueduct. The temperature will be right around 60 degrees. The main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. We have a pick six carryover today of $50,000. In today's first race, scratch 1, Summer Takeover, part of an entry, and scratch the 11, Yogi. Scratch 1 and 11. And there's a rider change on the 1A, Arissa Ima to Flavian Pratt. Flavian Pratt on the 1A, Arissa Ima in the first race. In the second race, the 1A is now 1 pound over. Scratch 8, Happy Bob, and 9, Crack the Code. Scratch 8 and 9 out of the second. No changes in race 3. The fourth race is the Awad Stakes. No changes, and please note race 4 begins today's middle pick 4. Race 5 will start the pick 6. It's the grade 2 Kelso. A rider change on the 1, Shack Queen King, to Jorge Ruiz. Jorge Ruiz on the 1, Shack Queen King. Race 6, no changes. In the 7th race, scratch 5, Invincible Gal. 7, Malibu Curl. Scratch 9, Quaria Thunder. And scratch the 11, Tequilera. Scratch 5, 7, 9, and 11. Race 8, the Pumpkin Pie Stakes. Scratch number 1, W.W. Fitzy. Scratch the 1 out of race 8. The 9th race, the grade 3 Bold Ruler. Number 8 is 1 pound over. 10th race, a jockey change on the 7 Royal Spirit to Paco Lopez. Paco Lopez is on the 7. Scratch 12, Caffrey. 14, Baton. 15, Ria's Angel. And 16, Blue Grotto. Scratch 12, 14, 15, and 16 out of the 10th. Main track fast, turf course.